Art.
Major works. The bold brushstrokes and unique mastery of Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio brought to life a collection of works that transcend time, leaving an indelible mark on art history. Each piece, immersed in the distinctive chiaroscuro technique and permeated by visceral authenticity, contributes to the understanding of the singular genius that was Caravaggio. Among his creations, some stand out as eloquent witnesses to his artistic revolution. Medusa 1597 to 1598. In Caravaggio's work Medusa, the mythological Gorgon comes to life with macabre details and a terrifying expression. Caravaggio employs the contrast between light and shadow to intensify the eerie atmosphere, highlighting the decapitated head of Medusa. The realistic and emotional representation of the scene showcases the artist's mastery in conveying mythic horror. Caravaggio's Medusa stands as a striking portrayal of human fragility in the face of the divine. Judith Beheading Holofernes, 1599-1602. This audacious work represents a dramatic turn in the biblical myth. Judith, normally portrayed as delicate and virtuous, assumes an unexpected ferocity in beheading Holofernes. The intensity of the act is amplified by the masterful use of chiaroscuro, becoming a bold example of Caravaggio's interpretation of classical themes. The Conversion of St. Paul, 1600-1601. In this monumental painting, Caravaggio addresses the spiritual transformation of St. Paul in an innovative manner. The divine light radiating upon Paul is so intense that it transcends the limits of the canvas, providing an almost transcendental visual experience. The boldness in representing religious events reinforces Caravaggio's reputation as a provocateur. Usus timers absendiating yourself. This masterpiece exemplifies Caravaggio's ability to capture the crucial moment. The biblical narrative of Christ's revelation to the disciples in Emmaus is laden with emotion in the expression of the characters. Realism and a suspenseful atmosphere are intensified by the subtle use of chiaroscuro, making the painting a deeply engaging experience. Narcissus as in 1599. Caravaggio brings his innovative technique to Greek mythology in Narcissus. The mythological youth, fascinated by his own reflected image, is portrayed with captivating vulnerability. Meticulous attention to detail and dramatic lighting stand out, offering a unique perspective on the myth. John the Baptist, 1604-1605. The ascetic figure of St. John the Baptist is often portrayed in religious art, but Caravaggio provides a unique interpretation. Pronounced lighting highlights skin details, while St. John's penetrating gaze and expressive gesture create a visceral and introspective representation of the saint. The Sacrifice of Isaac, 1603-1604. In one of the most complex themes in religious art, Caravaggio once again challenges expectations. The dramatic tension of the scene is palpable, highlighted by Abraham's anguished expression and Isaac's vulnerable position. The artist does not shy away from the raw emotions associated with sacrifice, creating a work that transcends the ordinary. Madonna of the Palafreniere, 1605-1606. The turn of the 16th century sees Caravaggio in a rare moment of gentleness in the representation of the Virgin Mary. In this work, the Virgin is portrayed more conventionally, but meticulous attention to details, such as the intertwined hands of the children and Mary's serene expression, continues to reveal Caravaggio's distinctive touch. The Death of the Virgin, 1601-1606. This monumental painting, despite its initial rejection by the Church, stands out as one of the high points of Caravaggio's career. The representation of the Virgin Mary, shrouded in shadows, evokes a melancholic reflection on mortality. The contemplative atmosphere and skillfully unbalanced composition reinforce Caravaggio's audacity and originality. Michelangelo Love, 1602-1603. In a rare foray into the theme of love, Caravaggio paints Victorious Love, a work that highlights his artistic versatility. The contrast between the delicacy of the winged figure of Cupid and the surrounding darkness demonstrates the artist's mastery in manipulating light and shadow to convey emotion. These significant works of Caravaggio not only capture the essence of his artistic revolution, but also reveal the breadth of his skill and the lasting impact his creations have had on art history. Through skillful brushstrokes, Caravaggio transcended the bounds of the conventional, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire and intrigue generations of art enthusiasts. As Caravaggio emerged on the artistic stage, he broke with Renaissance tradition and its penchant for idealizations. His works, flooded with penetrating chiaroscuro, delved into raw reality and direct emotional expression. This radical approach became a lens through which society could re-examine human nature, distancing itself from the prevailing, stylized representations. In the artistic landscape of his time, Caravaggio didn't just paint pictures. He told stories, delved into the essence of humanity, and challenged the established order. His enduring impact lies not only in masterful technique or bold representation, but in the transformation of the meaning and function of art and society. Caravaggio didn't just paint. He sculpted a legacy that continues to resonate through the centuries, a visual symphony echoing in every bold brushstroke and every play of light and shadow. Controversies and scandals. In the tumultuous journey of Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio, controversies and scandals became as intrinsic to his narrative as his bold and innovative brushstrokes. The revolutionary genius of Baroque painting, often immersed in shadows and illuminated by emotional chiaroscuro, left a trail of controversies that echo to this day. From the outset, Caravaggio showed a propensity to challenge social and aesthetic norms. His realistic and visceral approach to painting not only subverted the expectations of the time, but often delved into territories that unsettled the Catholic Church and the elite of society. In a context where art was often an expression of faith and authority, Caravaggio chose a path that, for some, bordered on heresy. One of the early episodes marking Caravaggio's controversial trajectory was the use of models considered inappropriate to represent sacred figures. While other artists of the time idealized their religious representations, Caravaggio sought authenticity, often choosing beggars, prostitutes, and common people as models. This approach, though innovative, shocked the sensibilities of a society accustomed to a more idealized view of sacred art. The painting Judith Beheading Holofernes is emblematic of this clash between Caravaggio's vision and conventional expectations. The brutal representation of the biblical heroine beheading her enemy triggered a wave of controversies. The graphic violence, combined with the disturbing nature of the theme, led to criticism from both the church and conservative sectors of society. Caravaggio's explosive temperament also contributed to his saga of scandals. His inclination for fights and confrontations was notorious, and his personal life was often intertwined with violent episodes. In 1604, a brawl with an opponent in Rome culminated in the famous accusation that Caravaggio had thrown a table jug into the face of his adversary, resulting in a serious wound and a legal process. Beyond issues of violence, Caravaggio found himself embroiled in sexual scandals that added layers of controversy to his biography. His relationship with the prostitute Lena Antognetti and rumors about his sexuality contributed to building a reputation that transcended artistic circles and reached the public sphere. The complex relationship between Caravaggio and the Catholic Church reached its peak with the painting The Death of the Virgin. The realistic and emotional representation of Mary's death, although commissioned for a chapel, was rejected by the Church of Santa Maria della Scala due to its excessively realistic approach. This episode further heightened tensions between the artist and ecclesiastical authorities, highlighting the tension between Caravaggio's bold vision and the Church's expectations. The controversy surrounding his works reached a climax when Caravaggio was accused of heresy due to his unconventional interpretations of religious themes in his paintings. These charges added to the controversies and rejections, making him an increasingly isolated and marginalized figure within the artistic and social scene. The scandals surrounding Caravaggio were not just isolated incidents, but symptoms of a complex and often contradictory personality. His tumultuous life, marked by conflicts and challenges to norms, was reflected in the canvases he produced. The visceral energy emanating from his works reflected not only artistic innovation, but also the internal and external struggles that shaped his existence. Caravaggio's legacy transcends the controversies of his time. His impact on art, despite the controversies, was fundamental to the transition from the Renaissance to the Baroque. His influence extended to a lineage of artists known as Caravaggisti, who embraced his realistic approach and deepened the controversial elements in their own works. However, it was on May 28, 1606, in the streets of Rome, that his greatest scandal occurred. Caravaggio, known for his propensity for fights and confrontations, became involved in a heated argument with Rannuccio Tomassoni, an opponent and rival. The dispute, fueled by years of rivalry and resentment, quickly escalated to physical violence. Amid the brawl, Caravaggio drew a sword and struck a fatal blow against Tomassoni. Tomassoni's murder cast a shadow over Caravaggio's already troubled reputation. The artist, in conflict with Roman society due to his controversial works and tumultuous personal life, now found himself entangled in a crime that attracted attention not only from secular authorities but also from the Catholic Church. The murder of Tomassoni had immediate repercussions in Caravaggio's life. In addition to social rejection, he became a target of local authorities. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Caravaggio fled Rome, initiating a period of exile that would take him to various Italian cities in search of refuge. His voluntary isolation further accentuated the tragic nature of his narrative. Caravaggio's escape did not exempt him from the legal and moral implications of his actions. Tomassoni's murder involved the church in a delicate situation, as Caravaggio was linked to ecclesiastical commissions and had received sponsorship from the institution. The complex relationship between the church and the painter sparked debates on how the institution should deal with a talented artist whose acts were morally condemnable. The church morally condemned Caravaggio for the murder, amplifying existing tensions due to the innovative and often provocative representations in his works. The artist, who defied aesthetic norms, now faced a moral condemnation that reinforced his social and artistic marginalization. During his period of exile, Caravaggio continued to paint, although his life was marked by constant flight and a sense of isolation. Seeking redemption, he sent letters to the church and other patrons, expressing his desire to return to Rome and reconcile with society. These letters reveal a man tormented by the weight of his actions, seeking a form of redemption through his art. Looking at Caravaggio's trajectory, it is impossible to separate his tumultuous life from his provocative creations. His saga of controversies and scandals not only enriched the narrative of his existence, but also added an extraordinary dimension to his contribution to art history. Caravaggio challenged not only the techniques and conventions of painting, but also the limits of social acceptance, turning his name into a synonym for boldness and innovation in the art world. And thus we conclude the second part of the video about the artist in question. Don't forget to leave your like, comment, and share your opinions on the video. Additionally, be sure to watch the upcoming parts that are on the way. Keep participating in this artistic journey. Share it with others who share your taste, and always remember to stay connected to continue with these unfolding developments. See you in a little while.
Art.